up, traders? How y'all doing? So I'm recording this video. It's October 30th, and you're gonna see this video in November. I'm gonna talk about my month in October and my trading month, and I'm going to talk about how I missed the Bitcoin move that I was calling for and didn't really participate. Actually lost money trading on a month that Bitcoin is up. I lost money on Bitcoin. Here's the thing though, spoiler, as of today, my trading, I made like net profit, like $6,500. I still have tomorrow, but it's my best month of the year from a P&L standpoint. Most of my days were profitable. I had a really high win rate, and the most important thing is my habits were really great. All that said, I would have liked to have done a better job capturing the Bitcoin move. I could have made $20,000 this month instead. But it's okay, right? We need to focus on where we are, and I'm just gonna try to digest this. You do have to look at the past and review somewhat, but we just don't wanna dwell on the past. You don't wanna stay there, right? But let's focus on what's good also. So welcome in, fam, much love, Trav here. If you don't know me, I am an entrepreneur, adventurer living on Oahu. I'm on my way home. I was just, came into town and went on a hike with a friend. Oh, I need to make my way over. We made it. We did it. And yeah, I'm reflecting on my trading. So, the month of October, I don't have the full data because I replaced my sleep tracker, which is my Ring. But I'm pretty sure October is the best month of sleep I had since 2021, probably. Probably in 3 years. Why? Because the whole time I've been trading, there's been times where trading disrupts my sleep, where I'm up late trading, where I'm up late staring at the charts, where I'm up, and it's not every night, but here and there, maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, maybe twice in a bad week. I'm up and I'm just staring at the charts on my phone. And in the past 2 months, I've reduced this to 0, so this doesn't happen at all. And also, that's October. I've had only one trading session a day. I uploaded all my trading sessions. You can see them. See how I made my money this month. And the average amount of time I spent, I think the least was like, okay, on Saturdays I spent 0 minutes. There were some days where I spent 20-something minutes. I think my longest session was like an hour and a half. There was a lot going on that day, a lot of opportunity. So, sorry, I got distracted. Someone texted me. I didn't see what it was, but I'm going to put it out of my mind. Compartmentalize. Yeah, good habits in October. Good habits. Great sleep. Single session. 30-minute average, right? So I made $6,000 on maybe, we'll say 6 times 30, 180, maybe 4 hours, probably less than 20 hours of work. I made $6,000, probably 15 hours of work maybe. So what is that? Like $400 an hour is my rate. So given that, like, yo, I'm smiling. I'm geeking. I'm geeked, right? I feel good, right? Even botching and blundering one of my main theses, which we'll come back to. My strategy needs refinement, so we're going to talk about that too. But I want to highlight the good. I made, just from a habit perspective, it was good. And one of the ways that I fixed my habits, which I've talked about a lot recently, was realizing that I was trading for a stimulation out of boredom, and also because I didn't have more responsibility. So I took on more responsibility, working 3 days a week on a boat where I need to be at the boat at 6:30, so I'm waking up at 5 something. And then also on other days I'm doing hiking tours. So that's what really fixed my sleep actually, and it's kind of counterproductive but there's other times in my life when this has happened where if I commit to waking up early, my sleep improves, because since I can't sleep in, I'm just never gonna sabotage myself that bad and fuck myself by staying up late when I cannot sleep in. So that's been huge. And outside of trading, I don't know how much money I made, but probably less than I needed to sustain myself, but maybe I made enough. I need to check. Actually, this month I probably was net positive, so I don't even need to trade this month as well. So those things really helped. This month I went to some social events. I met a couple new women. I climbed a new mountain. I started practicing and learning archery. So it's been a pretty interesting month outside of trading, which has helped me not care or not think about it quite as much. So what am I doing with that? So back to the month, what worked really well, I did make money on the long sides, but I might have been a net loser, I'm not sure. I made a lot of my money on the short side. So November might not be like it, December might not be like it, but there were a lot of alt signals, and I played them really well because I have a back-tested like rote computer algo system, but I don't have it running like a computer, and I have a additional filter that I run over it, which you see in the videos. So like, it's really simple. If an altcoin hits an old high and then fails under it, then it's a potential short, but I want to see that it's jacked up on longs and that spot really wasn't pushing the move higher, and that it's not have a high short float. It needs to be predominantly longs. And then if I do that, I can short it. I usually put my stop just inside the high, and then I'm out after a big red day, or I'm out after a funding turns negative and the shorts enter. So, man, I had a lot of winning shorts this month. I want to say too many to count off the top of my head. I had a lot of winning shorts. Typically the shorts weren't the highest RR though, but this is one of my best setups, and I think it's a great setup forever, is what we call in my group, Market Timing Pro Trigger 3, peak sell. Why? Because there's 10,000, soon to be 100,000 altcoins. It's a cryptocurrency. It's a currency. It's not a stock, right? Stocks have value. There can be 100,000 businesses that are tradable. That's great. There doesn't need to be 100,000 currencies. You really don't need very many. So when it comes to altcoins, what comes up must go down, and selling something that's pumped up on leverage, it's an evergreen strategy. That says October was a particularly good month for it because just the way the market was. But I mean, it's a month where Bitcoin went from, I think it started the month in the low 60s, and today it's at like 74. I don't know where it's going to be tomorrow. But to make so much money shorting in a like bullish market environment is really good. Like that's phenomenal actually. Why? Because if I can make money on the short side in a rising market, like I can hedge super well, right? The problem is the longs. So why didn't I make money on a rising market, and how do I fix that? So I didn't make money because I'm greedy. So let me just start with the psychological. We can look at the system, because I have a number of systems on the long side. One of them that's the most back tested, I haven't really been trading because I'm greedy and impatient and it's slow. So maybe I should just run those and then do the alt shorts as well. And that's my system that I sell, right? It's like, why don't I follow that system? Because I'm greedy and I'm impatient, right? So the stop's too wide. I mean, I can fix it by just risking bigger on it. But instead of doing that, and what that system is like buying either a monthly sweep and recover, or buying a monthly breakout on Bitcoin with a 3.4 ATR stop, which is pretty significant. It's like a 10% stop. Instead, what I've been doing is trying to catch pullbacks into 1 hour and 4 hour fair value gaps in liquidation areas. So this strategy, it's a much higher variance strategy. When it works, it makes so much money. But when it misses, you miss the move because it doesn't pull back quite far enough, or it pulls back too far and then you're not with the move. And I think it was important that I do this because I needed to break the habit of just market entering things at the market, even though almost all the shorts actually were entered at the market, interesting enough. So I did better entering at the market on shorts. So maybe I need to reconsider that, because also my habits were good. It didn't cause me I wasn't out of control. I took a few trades that I probably shouldn't have, but considering I took like 50 trades and almost all of them were good, but also it was a good month where the month offered me a lot of good trades to take, and some months don't do that, and it's a lot harder because I end up taking worse trades. But so my long strategy is a lot higher variance, and I could come back and say, and I'm not here saying I got unlucky, but it's random, right? So for instance, I had a buy order for one Bitcoin around, it was like 58,200 or something like that. I don't remember the low of the month. And I waited for 2 weeks for it to fill. I was very patient, and it kept coming down, and it didn't fill me by, my stop, by the way, was about $1,500. It didn't fill me by $70. And then price came up, and the next day I was like, all right, it missed it. Well, I'm just going to set another limit just under the current price action. And price never went lower, and it went higher. And then I was like, all right, well, I'm going to advance my limit order again, and it didn't fill again, and it went up again. And now I'm like, all right, I'm going to chase it a little bit. And now my stop was too tight, and it actually came and took a loss. It came and stopped me out. And I was like, well, now, when I could have taken my MTP breakout long, but I was like, I'm going to do better on the pullback, but I got stopped out on the pullback. And then all of a sudden price is at all-time high, and I'm not with it, and I've been calling it this whole time, and I didn't make money, or I actually lost money on Bitcoin this month. Probably lost like $2,000-3,000. Again, all that said, my trading hourly this month was like $400 an hour. I made, as of the 30th, like $6,500. But I could have done much better. So how do I get better? Well, here's some of the things that I'm considering. One is, if I had spread my long, like Bitcoin's not the only one that did well this month. BNB, Solana did pretty well this month too. If I had spread my limit orders across BNB and Solana, then that would reduce the variance of, I didn't get filled on Bitcoin, but I got filled on these other ones. And that's kind of what happened. Halfway through the month, I started with the BNB orders, and I had a BNB long that closed for like a $3,000 profit. That was the biggest trade of the month. Actually, was a BNB long. Side note, we're going to come back to. Another mistake this month actually was with an XRP short at the very start of the month. There was an XRP short that was A+. It was like a guaranteed win. It was so good. It was so pumped full of leverage. It was selling off from the right place. Spot didn't participate at all. It was all leverage. And I took it, and I only risked $500. And I didn't target that far away. And I made like $900 from the trade. And I consider actually that a big mistake, because when I see such a good trade, I should take a bigger risk. and I should run for a larger target. So that was a mistake. But let's come back to the longs. So one thing is to spread my longs across a couple different assets. That's helpful. Another one is to batch my longs on a particular asset. So for Bitcoin, for instance, instead of, I could have typically, I pick a fair value gap and I put my entry in the middle of that gap, and it's random. I could batch it so that I have an entry at the front of the gap and an entry at the back of the gap, and then I could have my one stop inside the wick, one stop beyond the wick, and that would reduce the variance. Also, one thing I want to pay attention to is liquidation levels too. I thought my entry was maybe a little bit too low because it was beyond the liquidation level on the liquidation heat map, but I kind of ignored it. So maybe I pay more attention to that too. Use the fair value gaps as a guideline, but try to align it more with the liquidation level. So that's something I could do too. I could also allow myself to chase in the market if it doesn't get filled. Because what also happened on ETH, there was a couple times I put on a short limit order and it just did not fill and just went straight down. Because a lot of the time, by the time I realized that it's actually a great trade, a limit order isn't going to work because it's just not going to pull back. But having a no market order saves me from putting on random trades. But now that I'm not really putting on random trades, going back to market orders might help me out, allowing myself to do it. If it's once a day, right, it could be fine. So another thing is, again, I could just trade like the MTP system on the longs and just trade them big and wide, and then trade the short strategy as I am. So I've got a lot of possibilities for improving the longs, but I know that that's where I need to improve, right? Because I made so much money shorting a month that the markets all went higher. Well, how did I do that? I'm really good at shorting. I'm really good at shorting altcoins. I'm very good. And my biggest mistake was not risking more on the shorts, right? As far as the short side. But I have a lot to improve on the long side. And yeah, I'm just waiting for pullbacks. It's not always working. So that's what I'm thinking about, how to improve the long side. And yeah, it's just funny. My fear happened. Bitcoin went to all-time highs. I didn't participate. If I had traded like a retard this month, I probably would have made more. How I had been trading, just long 3 Bitcoin at a time with a tight stop, that would have fucking worked great. But I didn't, and it's okay. And again, even though I missed on that, to have such a winning month. And the last thing is, I don't really need the money. It doesn't really change my life. If I had an extra 100 grand or an extra $1 million in my bank account, there's nothing I could do that would improve the quality of my time. The only possible use and really my motivation for it is, could I wanting to have kids eventually, but I don't have a woman in my life who I would want to have kids with, so it's not urgent at all anyways. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. And yeah, it was a good month, and hopefully next month is good too. And the main thing for next month as well is to just stay as busy as I possibly can. That's the most important thing. So thanks for checking in. Appreciate y'all. Much love, and talk to y'all soon. Peace.